Joining us today, courtesy of Vivid Seats, LA Kings right winger Alex Laferriere. How are you doing today, Alex?
I'm good, yeah.
And
Good
featuring
morning.
Zach Dooley. How are you doing today, Zach?
Jesse, I'm doing well.
Perfect. Alex, it's no secret that you went to Harvard, and I swear this is the only Harvard question I'll have, because I can't imagine it's fun for you to have it constantly brought up. Andrzej Kopitar once said one of his favorite television shows was Suits. I asked you before we started recording if you're familiar with it. You said yes, so you know that the firm in Suits only hires lawyers from Harvard. Mm-hmm. And at one point, there's a quiz among the not the students, I don't know what the word is, the lawyers, about Harvard. And one of the questions that stuck in my mind that I want to ask you is, if I had to get square pizza at Harvard, where would I go?
Pinocchio's.
Okay, that's the right answer for anybody who never watched the show. So Pinocchio's is a real place.
Yeah, it's a real place. Yeah, stays up pretty late. So we had a couple late nights where we ended up there for some pizza, and yeah, it's a great spot.
Now, I had never thought about this before thinking about what to ask you, and this came up in my mind. I've had square pizza before, but I never thought to call it square pizza. In my mind, it was just pizza that happened to be cut in the shape of a square. Am I missing something? Is square pizza a thing? This is to both of you.
What's the difference?
You tell me.
Back home, my dad loves like the grandma style pizza, I think it's called, and that's like square, but I don't know if that's like a thing.
Because I've had like square pizza that's like a round pizza just cut into a square.
Right.
But then also the big squares, which are totally different, like I don't know, what's it called? Sicilian
Pizza?
style or...
Yeah, I don't know.
Like there's different kinds for sure. Like there's the flat square and the big...
In my mind, square pizza means the crust is usually slightly different, and that's about it. The rest of it is just pizza. Anyway, now that we've gotten that taken care of.
Do they only cut their pizza into squares at Pinocchio's?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Do you miss it at all? Like, where's your pizza place in Southern California if you're in the mood for some Pinocchios?
I don't know.
It's hard-hitting question.
I haven't really gotten pizza much here. Pitfire pizza I've gotten a couple times, but it's more of like a personal pizza, so it depends, I guess.
So you've been in Southern California for, what are we going on, almost a year and a half now. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like a Southern Californian?
I would say no, just because I think the time on the road kind of takes away from that. But I think if you're from California, you're in the sun a lot, and so I guess like when I'm home, I'm like that. But I wouldn't. I still think I tend to be like a East Coast guy.
If you had one thing, if a friend of yours was moving to Southern California from back east, and you had to warn them about one thing, what would it be?
That there's no Taylor ham, egg, and cheeses.
Taylor ham, not pork roll?
No, Taylor ham.
All right.
Yeah, that's
getting the hard-hitting stuff out of it.
That's my go-to breakfast when I'm at home. So when we go there in December, I'm gonna have to make sure to get some of those.
Did I get that right? Sorry, did I get that right? That's the debate: Taylor ham versus pork roll. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry. Go ahead, Zach.
I learned two things from your Wikipedia. One of which was that when you were learning to play hockey, you refused to take skating lessons until your sister bribed you with a Taylor ham, egg, and cheese sandwich. Is that true?
Yeah, she would bribe me with Taylor ham, egg, and cheese sandwiches and Skittles.
Skittles.
Yeah, so she'd put like Skittles on the ice, and I'd have to go skate around and get them. And then if I went and skated, I was able to get a Taylor ham, egg, and cheese after.
So this is a note for our TikTok team. We now need video of Alex Laferriere skating around picking up Skittles with the sound from Family Guy of James Woods. Ooh, piece of candy.
And also on the New York trip, probably a Taylor ham, egg, and cheese.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Local.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I'm going to dive into hockey real quick. Sorry. This is an issue that has always sort of agitated me. We talked a little bit about it, you and I did last year. And that is when a right shot player switches to the left side. Mm-hmm. And I'm frequently told, it doesn't matter. But, of course, it clearly does. Otherwise, it wouldn't be so repetitive. It would be somewhat random. Last year, you played more on the left side, I think, than you have this year on the right. When you're playing with Kopitar and Kempe, you're obviously playing on the left. Mm-hmm. Does it matter to you, and how does it change your approach to the game during the game?
Yeah, I mean, my whole life I pretty much only played on the right side, so switching to the left was a little different for me. But I think being able to watch someone like Juice kind of play that off wing and see like the kind of little tendencies that he has makes it pretty easy. And I would say there's definitely positives and negatives towards it. I think breaking out a little easier, you're automatically protecting the puck. going into the zone, you can kind of like you can face the play a little bit more. But I think it's just so natural for me to play right that whenever I am playing right, it's kind of easy. And then when I go to left, I just think about those things a little bit more. So the switch has been pretty easy for me.
Most of your goals this season, as I've observed anyway, have come from your awareness of the play. Whether it was a tip or you made yourself available for a pass, you shot against the grain, found open space against the goalie. Seemed to me to be directly linked to your awareness. If you're switching wings, if you're on your offside one shift and back on the other or game to game, does that tinker with your awareness? Are you spending a little, even if it's just half a second of extra time adjusting to the change, or is at this point you're just out there playing hockey?
I mean, I think at this point it's just natural. I think last year it did take a little bit more thinking. But yeah, I think like no matter who I'm out there playing with, they kind of know my tendencies a little bit. So I mean, if you look at all my goals, even the tip goals, like it comes off of a great play. Like I think the Montreal goal, like Turks made a great play down low, got it up high. The Columbus goal, like Fogues made an unbelievable play, getting it to Eddie. So I think for me it's just kind of finding the quiet ice, and then my line mates are making great plays.
Can you recount all of your goals that you've scored in the NHL? Like the Montreal goal was a month ago. You know exactly what happened on that play. Even last year, could you recount like most of those goals?
I've tried to think about it before. I don't think I could get every single one. But I think I can get most of them. There's not many of them right now, so I think I could get them.
More than most people on the team.
21 more than we got.
Yeah, that too. I was talking to Jim Fox about you recently, and he talked about a conversation that he had with you, and I asked him permission to reference this. He said that your dad had told you when you were a kid to try and incorporate the strengths of your line mates into your game. When did he tell you that, and how difficult is it when you're in a season like this playing on so many different lines?
He told me that when I was pretty young. I want to say, well, he was my coach my whole life, like from when I started until I want to say like 14U or 15U. He coached me for quite a while, and I'll shout him out. Probably still one of the best coaches I've ever had, to give him a little tire pump. But no, I mean, like, yeah, my team growing up, we had a lot of really good players. I think 4 of us ended up playing at Harvard together from our mite team. So, I think just growing up, I was always undersized and kind of needed to stand out in any way I could. So, he taught me that, and it is different coming to this level and trying to still kind of look at that, because you're obviously more mature, and there's not like a ton of growth that happens to your game still, but I think that is something that if I continue to work on, it'll set me apart from other guys. So I think I've always kind of stuck to that, and it's definitely a good piece of advice.
You talked about being undersized when you were younger. You had a growth spurt a little bit later, right? Like a high school age one. Until that time, did you ever even think like you could advance to even college hockey, or was there like a point when it clicked for you, like, oh, maybe there is a path forward for me?
Yeah, I mean, college hockey my whole life was my goal. My dad played at Princeton and then played at Boston College, so my whole life I just wanted to play college hockey, and I was definitely undersized, so that I didn't really think of that as that big of a possibility. And then I was fortunate enough to go to the Avalanche and play under Larry Robbins, who is an unbelievable coach, and had a lot of resources for us to grow our games. And I think then seeing the success of our team and the role that I had on the team, I knew that it was a possibility. And then I was given an opportunity by Coach Riley at West Point. He offered me a scholarship there, so I verbally committed there, which was my goal my whole life. I'm from New Jersey, and my grandpa and uncle went to West Point, so grew up going to those football games, the hockey games, and that was a dream come true. And then went to prep school and had a really good year, and I was given the opportunity from Harvard.
I played one game in youth hockey at the West Point rink, and it was the coolest game ever because they put our team name on the scoreboard. It was the only time they ever put our team name. on the scoreboard. Nice drink. But that was the
Yeah.
other thing I learned from your Wikipedia was that you did originally commit to West Point,
Yeah.
which is obviously more of a decision than just where you want to play college hockey, right? Like,
Yeah.
was that something you were considering with, the other things that come along with going to West Point is more than just the game, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think, like I said, I grew up going to the games, and I mean, once you step foot on that campus, you can see how special it is and how beautiful it is, and the history that comes with it. And yeah, I think my grandpa and my uncle going through it and kind of telling us the stories growing up, it didn't seem too daunting. So yeah, I mean, I was definitely willing to do it. But yeah, I mean, the place there is unbelievable, and the coaching staff was awesome, and yeah, I just felt at home there.
At the time of this recording, you've played 101 games in the NHL. Are you aware that you just passed the 100 mark?
Yeah, yeah.
The NHL is kind of weird because, obviously you're thinking like, oh, anniversaries, or not anniversaries, but milestones come in tens, hundreds, 50s, whatever it is. An 82 game schedule means that if you're going to play 100 games, you're going to play parts of 2 seasons, but not 2 full seasons. You and I talked about this earlier this season. Was there a moment that you felt like, okay, now I'm in the NHL? This is where I am. I'm not going anywhere else. This is my job. This is my career. This is who I am.
Yeah, a little bit. I would say training camp this year, because compared to last year, I was fighting for a spot, and there really weren't any roster spots open last year. So I think I was kind of just going in, like, trying to put myself in the best position that I could. And then obviously, like, they show the lineups on the boards and what the projected lineup is for the NHL team and all that stuff. And this year actually being on that kind of was a different experience for me, and definitely gave me more confidence going into camp.
So game 79 last year, you still weren't sure that you were part of the team?
Well, no, I definitely
I don't mean part of the team.
Yeah,
I just mean like you had
as
a
the year
spot.
went along, I definitely felt a lot more comfortable. But I mean, yeah, I still never knew. I think after my 80th game last year, I saw like a tweet that was saying that I was like that I needed waivers, I think it was.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a shock, but yeah, no, I think it's still taking it day by day.
So in a season where you have 10 new teammates, some of them you would have known and been familiar with from previous camps and stuff. Some of them are like Joel Edmondson. I doubt you probably had much interaction with him previously. Now in your second season, you're in the top half as far as guys that have played games with the LA Kings. Do you feel like one of the vets while also feeling like one of the young guys?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely do not feel like a vet. I'll say that. But no, I think it was a lot different this year because last year I didn't go to Australia, and so I think this year being able to go to Quebec with everyone kind of forces you to hang out with everybody. So really got to know the new guys a lot better, and yeah, it was awesome.
Not a lot of guys skip the AHL. I know you played 4 games there, but do you ever think about that of like most guys do at least a pretty extended stint in the AHL, and you really never had that experience? You kind of just jumped right to the NHL.
Yeah, I think about it. Yeah, I definitely got fortunate with I know that they were unfortunate circumstances, but the things that happened last year right at the start of the season kind of gave me a chance, and then I always told myself, like, once I get that chance, I'll never give it up. So that has just been my goal since I got that opportunity, and just trying to continue that.
So you played in the USHL, you played for Harvard, and now you've played under 2 coaches in the NHL. Is it a challenge to adapt to a new coaching staff, or is it just a different voice?
A little bit of both. I think it's good for our team to have new voices in there and kind of get new perspectives. And obviously we've had the kind of systems change, so it's good to kind of switch all that stuff up and keep it fresh. And yeah, but at the same time, like Jimmy was our assistant coach last year, and I worked a lot with him one-on-one, kind of because it was the beginning of my career. So He was awesome with me at the beginning of the year, last year when he was the assistant coach, and that's continued into now when he's the head coach. And now we have guys like Brownie and Smitty who are Smitty's a big voice and loves to let you hear it. So he's been awesome. And then Brownie's a really knowledgeable guy who's been around for a long time, and I love learning from him too.
This season, the concept of identity has not been as present as it was last season. Are the players aware of those conversations? And if you had to say what you think the Kings' identity is, what would it be?
It's tough to say just because I know we haven't put much of a focus on it as compared to last year, but I mean, it's pretty easy once you walk into the locker room and see guys like Kopi and Dewey. You kind of, it's not a vocal identity, but just kind of watching those guys, you can see the team's identity run through those guys. And they've been here for a long time, and they're just unbelievable guys, and they love being leaders. So I don't know. I think just kind of I don't really know how to put that into words, but just kind of like the way they carry themselves is our identity.
How quiet is the locker room without Dewey in there every single day?
He makes a point of it to get in there and give him some crap. So he's been here when we're home. He's around, so it's good to see him.
Good.
I had one more.
Yeah, go for it.
You talked about the New York trip, beginning of the episode. How exciting is that one coming up? Like, this will kind of go out right before that. Like, I imagine that's probably one of your favorite trips of the year with so much time spent like in the area that you're from.
Yeah, I'm really excited. It's always good to go back home and see family, and I think my grandparents are going to be able to come out to a few games, which is good. They haven't been able to come to a lot of games, so it'll be awesome to see those guys and hopefully get home for a couple home-cooked meals.
Are you California soft, or would be able to handle the cold? 'Cause I got California soft really fast.
Yeah, it's been switching on me. Like the other day in the morning, it was like 55 and I was cold. So we'll see.
What happens?
Yeah, we'll see.
Nobody ever believes it. Alex Laferriere, congratulations on 100 games. Thanks for joining us. Hopefully we'll talk to you before another 100 have gone by.
Sounds good. Thank you.